welcome to Deadlands Dime Novels, The Adventures of Young and Holt, Issue 43, In the Old Town. I'm your narrator, Ernest Wick, intrepid reporter for the Tombstone Epitaph. In this issue, Young and Holt and John Barnes find themselves in the midst of a bit of strangeness while investigating a strange glow in a small town. They've come upon an individual who appears burnt to a crisp, yet his eyes just flicked open. I'm sure everything will be just fine. Just like I'm sure the Crowe Boys behave themselves, and the Rogue Valley is a safe place, and the Barrow siblings are sleeping peacefully on the trail. Well, things are heating up, so we'd best see where they're at.
Both of its eyelids flick open, and these two white pupils are staring back at you against this blackness of its entire face. And you may make me another guts roll.
I'm actually not even going to bother, because there's only one reaction Porter has to this. It's to scream at the top of his lungs and just sort of flail at it as he's falling backwards.
Excellent. Make me, though, as you fall backwards, make me a strength roll.
All right. I believe that's a 3.
All right. So you scream and you begin to flail, but your hands they grip the gun tightly as you do, and so you're trying to pull the gun with you as you go back, and there's resistance on the other end, and the shotgun goes off right next to you. So you scream, the shotgun lets off as a round right next to you, blowing things off of a shelf as Josh was trying to tell his nice story.
And now, of course, drawing weapon because there's new shots fired.
Yes.
Well, if he'd gotten to the point, Porter would be pulling out a shotgun.
In the span of like 4 seconds, you scream, you pull, the shotgun goes off, the shelf explodes. Joshua, you unholster your gun. There's a scream behind you towards the front of the store, and you hear a gunshot go off in your direction, Porter, but above your head, as you look and see Barnes just drawing and shooting, and not even necessarily taking aim at anything. And then, go ahead, what are you going to do now as all this is happening, Joshua?
With all this commotion and him pulling on a shotgun and it going off, I'm assuming that the body at this point is moving at some sort. So because the body would be moving, well, it's got to have 2 rounds put in it.
All right. You may go ahead and shoot.
So it looks like a 6 and a 6
Yep,
were my results.
Definite hits.
So 2 normal hits, and then the first one was 7, and the second one was 7.
So yeah, both guns come out. Boom. Boom. One shot hits it, and the gun has since come free and is now in Porter's hands as he falls backwards and stumbles in the debris that's in the ash that's on the floor. You hit the creature once, and there is this bloop of ash and the same orange, red, yellowish goop that comes out from the first shot, and you follow it up with the shot from Penitence. That bullet slams almost right next to where the first one did, and the creature again explodes much like the first one did, that Barnes shot, in a puff and cloud of ash and this liquid which plops to the ground. It's glowing as it does so, but then starts to fade.
I'm just staring in amazement. I've never seen anything like this.
You hear Barnes from back, What the hell was that? Are you okay?
Yep. Put my guns away. Looks like the same thing that the guy you shot out front.
Was it moving?
It was only moving because Porter was falling down trying to get a shotgun out of its hands.
He was holding onto a shotgun?
Appears so.
He opened his eyes. I'm like laying on my back in all this debris.
Are you quoting scripture?
He opened his eyes?
No, I'm not quoting scripture. I don't even know it off the top of my head. That jerky opened his eyes.
Speaking of jerky, I found some.
Well, don't touch it. Just see if it's covered in ash.
No, it's inside a glass jar.
And it was okay?
I didn't try any of it.
I mean, it wasn't covered in ash.
No, there's no ash on it.
Well, that's good.
How can you be hungry?
Did he really open his eyes?
He opened his eyes.
All right.
So when he went puff puff from the 2 gunshots,
Mhm.
was there a flash of light that kind of illuminated the area when he did that?
Only in the sense of when the second shot did the killing shot. So there was a brief glow. You could tell even with your close proximity that it wouldn't be bright enough to necessarily be seen from the distances that you were at when you saw the glows earlier. With your relative closeness, you even feel a sense, a slight increase in temperature, a little bit more heat briefly come from that area where he was.
Okay. And Porter's still laying on his back in all this debris. And he just puts his arms up. I was like, okay. And crunch, crunch. He just pulls himself up out of the...
Yeah, you're stepping on there's a bunch of dried rice that you have essentially fallen into, and so now you're crunching on ash and rice. And
okay. John, can you keep watch at the front door for a little bit?
Yeah,
please.
on it.
Okay. So I'm assuming the shotgun fell with the pile of ash.
Yes, but it is easily obtainable.
I'm not obtaining it. I already have a shotgun. I don't need another shotgun. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pull up my deck of cards. I'm going to sit down next to the shotgun. I'm going to start dealing them out.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Hunch.
It's okay, Porter. Just take your time. If playing some cards does that for you, we can give you a minute.
I just kind of look back over my shoulder at him and just kind of point a finger at him. Before you go talking to me about some Loop Gay Row and some Haitian mystical stories, let me do my thing, okay?
Hey, I could see a couple of glows across the street. Looks like they might be at the saloon.
Maybe you want to keep an eye on those while I do this.
I'll leave Porter alone and move up to keep an eye out with John Barnes.
He, as you walk up, he said, "You didn't get to finish your story."
Oh, I got 100 of them.
Yeah, well, hey, if we get out of here, that might be worth hearing them.
Well, hey, I got one for you now. Go ahead and put that gun away. I don't think those lights are going to be coming this direction anytime soon, right? Just might want to reload that before you put it away because you already shot 3.
Yeah, right. Good idea. He starts reloading, and you can tell he's still visibly shaken. Something has really unnerved him, and his hands are just as he is getting it reloaded, but he's clearly nervous. But he does get the gun in the holster. All right, Porter, go ahead. Are you dealing or are you PowerPointing?
I'm dealing.
Are you using your King of Hearts?
I am not.
All right. Did you draw the King of Hearts?
I did not.
Okay.
So Hunch costs 3 power points, which means I need a pair of jacks or better, at least. I am looking at absolutely nothing. I have a pair of 9s, but that's not quite. I have 4 clubs, which is not quite 5 for a flush. I have a queen 10 4 3, 9 9 5 6, Not enough for a straight because there's only 4. So
So you lost this hand, right?
I would say I lost this hand. My luck has not been good.
No, that sounds like it might be a little huckster backfire, I'm thinking.
It possibly might have something to do with huckster backfire. Yes.
So you lay out the cards in front of you, and you flip them over one by one as you're doing this, and your mind you get into that zone that you get into when you're trying to cast hunch, and so your perceptions of the world and whatnot change slightly as you're doing this, as you're slowly flipping the cards, and you notice above, it almost becomes like a little, well, it is brighter in here, but you notice in the ash that's above the cards, as you flip each card over, the ash seems to move and shape itself, and as you get halfway through the cards, you begin to recognize the face of the creature that you have seen before when you've been in these situations where you've gambled, or when you were taking on Annabelle and this creature picked you up and dragged you. And you flip over the last card, the fully formed ashen face of this creature. You see his pupils, his ashen pupils, they look down towards your cards, and you realize you don't have enough, and then the ash eyes go back up and look towards you, and you see his lips move in the ash, and it fluctuates as he speaks, and he says, "Oh, that's a shame. It looks like you lose." And the ash explodes into your face. Oh, that's not good.
Uh-oh. I'm hoping higher is not better.
Okay, so let's just double check just to make sure that this indeed is what happens should you fail your roll and the spell just doesn't go off, because
because it's that bad, huh?
it's not pleasant.
Yeah. Oh, you rolled a 20.
Oh, you didn't see what I rolled.
No, I didn't. So okay.
So here's what happens. So he says, "You lose. You lose." And the ashen face puffs in your direction, and it blinds you slightly, and you brush it away from your eyes. And when your eyes open, there is this little snaking column of the ash that's around you, and it kind of dances a little bit in front of your face, and then, like a cobra, it lashes out and hits you square in your third eye, in your forehead. It just goes right in there, and you feel this racking of pain inside your body, but you open your mouth to try and scream, and you can't. And it's almost as if there is this claw inside your mind, and it grips down, sinking its nails into your brain, and it just squeezes, and you feel part of you just shrink and crush. Then it lets go and throttles back out of your forehead, and as it's fading back down into a pile of ash, and your perceptions begin to come back to this world, you hear this voice saying something to the effect of, "See you soon." And welcome to Deadlands, Porter. 20 is a mind wipe. The Manitou fries a part of the huckster's mind. The spellslinger's spellcasting die drops 1 level permanently.
Nice.
So your spellcasting die goes down by 1.
That is unexpected, but not entirely unfeasible. He's pretty much untrained, self-taught. This is bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make a note of that.
So you certainly can still raise it back up, but the highest it can ever get to then would be a D10.
Okay.
Once again, Joshua saw nothing.
In fact, he did hear anything. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you come out of it, you basically are just, hand on the floor, steadying yourself and breathing heavy.
And out of character, this is completely fine because I'll find ways to make up for it. I mean, if he has to dabble in the new science later on, so be it. And Porter doesn't even know what's happened. So
yeah, so your hunch reveals to you nothing. You're not even sure how they got to be this way, what made them this way, what happened. Have they always been this way? You don't know.
yeah, I get nothing, which is disappointing. And I get up a little unsteadily afterwards, gathering up the cards. Something tells me I should have drawn that king. And make my way back around to the front. So, what's going on?
Were you really playing cards back there?
I had to get my focus back together.
He was a little addled after the shotgun in the fall.
It's not fun to have a shotgun go off right next to your head.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
And then somebody to shoot a bullet right next to your head.
Ooh, yeah. Sorry sorry about that. Yeah. That's my bad. Yeah.
And it doesn't mention Joshua because it happens enough.
It's true. At least Barnes didn't hit you.
That Joshua's never hit me. No, wait. Did he hit me on the train? No,
I think every time it has come up, there has been another ally. I don't think he's ever
so far.
Yeah.
Ingersoll and runs it dear.
Yeah. So you said there was some over in the saloon, some lights?
Yeah. So I'm looking around the store and I'm wondering if seeing how these things kind of radiate heat and ash indicates fire of some sort. Wonder how they'd react to some sort of liquid. So looking around the general store for some glass bottles or some ceramic bottles of a liquid. Probably not lamp oil.
Or liquor? You're not looking for an excuse to drink, are you?
No, not at all. Though it looks like they ruined a lot of tobacco in here.
Is there a water trough when we came in?
You did see, yeah, there was a water trough out in front, yes. You figure there probably is a cistern of some sort, maybe in the back. But you can absolutely find some bottles which probably do have bourbon or whiskey or some other type of liquid in them that you could easily pour out in exchange, yeah.
Yeah, so Joshua's going to do something that Porter's never seen. He's going to grab a bottle of alcohol, uncork it, and start dumping it onto the floor in front of him.
Do you want me to do that? This may be the most surprising thing I've seen since Lacquey Parley. And that includes the five-legged man.
Or the campfire men.
Five-legged man? What are you all talking about?
Campfire man?
Yeah, the campfire men, the one with the shotgun, the one on the other end of town. What else are you going to call these things? They're not martial arts.
Oh. Well, I mean, they're just burnt up people, right? Right?
Yeah, but you can't really call them ashen.
You're trying to...
I'll start getting some water.
Barnes helps you. He picks up what you're putting down, and he empties out a bottle, takes a couple of shots first to steady his nerves, but then goes and helps you. Maybe ash folk or people of ash. I don't know. I've never been too good with names. I mean, as far as coming up with names for things. I mean, I definitely remember names, but...
All right, let's say we head to that saloon.
Yeah, good idea. All right.
Poor John.
All right, so you're going to go check out the saloon, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while we're filling bottles of water and dumping out alcohol and stuff, in order to kind of kill the time, and since everybody's a little on edge still, Porter seems a little shaken more than a shotgun blast and a fall on a shelf might make him. Joshua will tell a story.
Oh boy.
All right.
So there was a story from Omaha tribesman. Tells of a pregnant woman that had twins. Her husband was the tribe's shaman, and when he would go out hunting, he would used to warn her. Now, if a stranger comes while I'm out, don't look at them. Could be potentially dangerous. So one day, there was an old woman came to the lodge while the shaman was off hunting, and the wife gave her food, gave her water, but sat with her back to the old woman the whole time. Second time and third time the old lady came to the village, the shaman's wife did the same thing. Gave him food, gave him water, sat with her back to him, never looked. The fourth time the old woman came back, and the wife of the shaman just couldn't take it anymore. She peeked. And she saw Two-Face, a witch. Instantly died. Everyone in the tribe, everyone in the village then that looked at her died. When the shaman came back into town and saw the massacre and all the death, he knew what had happened, and he started to grieve. But where he didn't find his wife's body, he found the twins, and he raised them. And they went on later adventures, but I hear they're still hunting after the thing that got their mom.
As you reach the porch of the saloon, and you've been telling the story since you came around the back side of the general store, and you've seen intermittent flashes of light inside the saloon. Barnes looks over at you. He's got his gun out again. He says, "I'm failing to see how this is supposed to make me feel better."
Well, it's taking your mind off things, isn't it?
Putting them on other things, yes. I mean, I suppose that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, Barnes opens his mouth to say something, but then just shuts it, nods his head, looks at Porter. You have yourself some strange friends, sir.
Tell me about it.
As you reach the porch outside the saloon.
I'm assuming there's a water trough outside the
Yes.
general
Yes.
store or saloon. Either
Yes.
there's water in it.
Not much, but there is.
So Porter's gonna take his hat off, take his jacket off. He's gonna just dunk his upper half in the water, just completely, leave himself dripping. And he's gonna put back on his jacket and his hat, wipe the water out of his eyes.
You feeling all right? You a little warm?
There is so much ash and char and everything's on fire, or was on fire around here. I'd rather be a little safe than sorry, thank you.
Okay.
Barnes looks at you now, Joshua, and he says, "You know what I just told him about having strange friends? Yeah, the same is true for you." As you approach the porch of the saloon, you notice a couple of things. One, anywhere where there's a window on the front, as far as you can see, it has been broken. The windows are broken. The doors to the saloon, your standard Western saloon swing doors, lie in pieces on the floor area around the entrance. Looks like they have been definitely broken off in some capacity. There is one body that is seated on a chair outside the saloon on the porch. Again, ash person, so it's all in full ash, is in a pose where they are seated in the chair, but one hand looks to be going for something on its hip, and the other hand is raised in sort of a blocking sort of motion in front of its face.
That's the second one, right there. Second one that's been covering their face.
Joshua will lean in, look a little closer to the face of the one that's leaned up outside the saloon. And you say the one with the shotgun moved his eyes?
Well, opened them, and then the shotgun went off. and then I was falling. So, if something else happened after that, I don't know.
Joshua will take the bottle full of water, put it over the top of the man, and just kind of pour just a little bit out so it can run down his forehead, down his nose.
Tell me high or low, then roll a d6.
I'm going to go low on this one.
All right.
I'm calling a 3 right here.
That's amazing. It was a 3.
You cast hunch, didn't you?
And
Boy, I wish my hunch worked earlier.
yeah. So you pour just a slight gurgle on top, and it rolls down through the ash, and you can see it's, it quickly obviously goes from being clear or at least slightly hazy water in the lantern light to being black liquid as it picks up the dirt from the ash. As it reaches the bridge of the nose of this person, you see both eyes flick open again on this one, very similar to how Porter had experienced the last one. There's a slight jerk in his body, but nothing moves. The eyes are open wide as if in panic or something else and looking at you, Joshua.
So when those eyes open, because I'm obviously watching to see what happens, Porter jumps back. He doesn't scream this time. Instead, he turns around and steps away, hand on his head. He's like, "That's freaky, okay?" Ugh.
You okay, John?
His gun is out, but he obviously hasn't shot it yet, and he's just darting around looking.
Kind of glad you didn't shoot that gun that close, John.
Yeah, me too. And Porter yells what he yells, and then Joshua, you hear this, and Porter and John also hears this as well. There's that same whooshing torch, moaning buzz sound that is coming from inside the saloon.
I'm going to try to find the source of it.
Okay, what are you going to do about the body in front of you here, Joshua?
Well, I'm now just standing up, looking at the seated body, kind of waiting for it to move, and at any indication of movement, I'll be drawing and firing. And hearing the sound come from inside the saloon, it's got my attention too, but I'm keeping my eyes focused on the seated gentleman.
You stand up and get into almost a ready position of sorts, and you're watching, and you allow yourself a quick look to the side when you hear the noise from inside. And you, in your position, well, actually, in part of you might see this as well. You thought when you hear that sound, you may have seen a bit of a glow pop up and go down as well. But Joshua, you notice this body, the eyes are following you as you move, and it becomes a little disconcerting because there's a slight compression in the face as if it was attempting to do something, and then in two little arcs right above the eyes, you see some ash just fall down. It's almost like whatever this thing was trying to blink or something, and it wasn't working, and now there's like little flecks of ash on the eyeballs, and the eyes begin to dart around.
Take a step back, keeping my hand close to my gun, getting ready to draw and fire if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like something might be trying to get out from inside him.
What?
Yeah. Whatever it is, it ain't normal.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, watch this one's forehead. It's like there's something moving around in there.
I really don't want to look anywhere near that.
I'm with the wet one. I say we just put it out of its misery right now. And then as Barnes says that, all three of you can see two separate glows pop up. You hear that sound again and then go down. And then both Joshua and Porter make me another notice check.
Boom. I pre-rolled this one.
Oh, that was your pre-roll. All right.
I knew I was going to make a notice check.
Because that's right, you were trying to see the source of here, so we'll count that 8.
A 2 and a 2, okay.
Well, this is what you see, Porter. when the glow pops up, your eyes instantly dart in that location, and deeper in the saloon, back maybe by where the piano might be, you see a humanoid looking figure, in the sense that you see legs, but this strangely bloated type of body, and a face which your mind isn't registering exactly what it even is. But this thing lights up. It almost looks like a, for lack of a better term, your brain attaches it to be some sort of man-sized firefly, as its body kind of lights up and glows, and you can even see briefly, or you think you might see, the silhouettes of organs, maybe veins, guts from inside, and it lights up. Your brain can't register what you see in regards to the face, but all it says is, "That's not human," and then the the glow fades away. And Joshua, yeah, you didn't. That's right. You got it too, so you didn't see anything. I mean, you saw the glow, but you didn't see the source.
Yeah, Porter's drawing and firing.
Which is going to be funny because before those flashes popped, the last thing John said was, "Let's just put it out of its misery." So Joshua was getting ready to draw and shoot the seated gentleman. So as he's doing that, Porter's going to be drawing and shooting at something else, which is hilarious.
Actually, that is. Go ahead and make a make your shooting roll, Porter. It's going to be at -2.
It's -2 for in general, and then another -2 for drawing and shooting.
Yes, yeah, because he's got a little bit of cover.
And
It's
then
got a
you
little
better
bit of cover.
duck, Joshua, because that.
Well, I'm figuring that you're shooting through the big bay window.
We're on the porch
Oh, wait, we're
dealing
not
with
inside
the one.
No, you haven't even gone inside yet.
Okay, well, I'm still shooting because at this point, Porter's freaked, and seeing what he saw, he knows that isn't human, so he's shooting. Remember all those times we didn't really teach Porter how to shoot?
I remember the one time where I taught him how to use sights, though.
Yes, but not snapping a quick draw shot out of the holster towards a suddenly flickering light.
At least you're holding an adult-sized gun now.
Oh,
So yeah, your gun comes out, you let off the shot, it goes through the window and it strikes the piano, and it sends shards of ash and burnt wood everywhere. Joshua, you go ahead and go to shoot this guy.
Yep.
You may roll, just go ahead and roll your damage. You don't need to actually hit him because you're going to hit.
There you go. Damage roll.
All right, 11. So, are you shooting with like the shell from the Lamont, under the underslung, or a regular bullet?
Nope, that's a regular bullet,
That's a
2d6.
regular bullet? Okay. And these shots go off almost simultaneously. Porter lets off his gunshot. You let off your gunshot. He explodes into that poof of ash and colored goo over the chair, and the chair even begins to the chair collapses in on itself because of your shot. And the liquid kind of pours out and begins to spread, and it glows slightly and then begins to fade. And we are now in a combat. So let's deal out some action cards. Card there, Porter, there's yours. Joshua, there's yours. And then I've got to do one to me. This is for Barnes. And then the bad guys. Alright, so Joshua, it looks like you're first. Where are you? Where did you go?
If you notice the burning chair on the front porch, I'm right next to
there
it
we
with
are.
my gun
Okay.
pointed at the goo. And I'm going to kind of look over my shoulder at Porter after I just shot this thing. Be like, I was going to do it.
no, there! And sort of waggles his gun in through the...
And then Joshua will turn to look into the room.
You see a fading glow over by the piano, and you don't see anything else yet.
All right. Well, since Porter said there, and I caught a look of that, I'll be like, what? I see dying light.
It was a thing. It was a firefly man.
Firefly man, what?
Just go in and look for yourself. I'll cover you from over here.
All right, that's probably my turn. I'll go ahead and step into the saloon. A couple of steps.
Barnes at the bottom of the steps, and he's looking around. He doesn't see anything, but he hears you step inside, and so he backs up the steps and just goes and hangs in the door frame, roughly in the door frame there. And then Porter.
So when Porter steps in with Joshua, are there people seated at the table near us? Or quote-unquote people?
Yes. So as you both come in and you look around inside the saloon, there are a number of bodies in here, a number of ashen-covered bodies. Some are seated at the table. Some appear to be in positions that illustrate they must have been shooting at something. Some have flipped over pieces of furniture and are have taken cover. It's hard to see within the light that you have here. You can see they're all in a variety of poses. Some appear to be completely unawares and are hunched over or laying over the table that they're seated at, or perhaps in a half turn at the bar in a pose that might illustrate surprise of some sort. But there is nothing moving, although Porter, since you kind of know where to look, you look over in that direction and you do see something moving over here, but it almost appears as if it's something that's vibrating of sorts.
So I'm going over to that table. Whether there's people on it or not, I'm going to flip it up on its side. And I'm going to use that as cover because that puts it between me and where I saw the glowy, vibrating thing. And then I'm going to just level my gun on top of it in that direction. Now Joshua has a pointer to where I was looking.
Roll me 2d6 because there are two people at this table, and give me high or low before you roll.
Alright, so the first one's going to be high, and this one's going to be low. So I rolled a 6 and a 2.
6 and a 2. You get over there, you flip over the table easy enough. There are two bodies here. Both of those bodies rock back off into onto the floor as you flip it. You do notice in the light both of them retain the pose that they were in when they fall. They did not crumble to dust. As you position your gun and get your cover, and you're looking in that area, something draws your attention down. You look down and you see that one of the bodies, because this is the only place that you have time to look, its eyes also have flipped open and he's staring directly at you.
Porter goes, "Aye," and just sort of trails off because the thought he had was completely lost as he sees those eyes down there. He's like, "Ugh."
These poor people. If we had rolled opposite of what we're saying, they'd probably be just turning to ash. But no, we're torturing them all.
I know.
Here's what happens. This one here glows. You see and Joshua, you see this very clearly. It begins to light up in a glow, and now you can definitely see this rounded, bug-like body, and there's glow emanating from inside. This creature appears to have human legs and wings, much like an insect. The bulbous, huge body, and then you get a look at their face, and you can see a human mouth with a variety of strange teeth on the inside. Some are long and stick out. Some appear to be straight up human. There are some antennae that come off of the back of its head, but the upper half of its head is eyes very much like a fly, and so they're large, bulging, multifaceted looking eyes. And it's this strange combination between maybe like a fat little 8-year-old and a fly or of sorts. There are 4 limbs total, 2 legs, arms, but there appear, in the way it's moving, it appears that their arms, which are human, have additional joints. So they kind of move and click in certain strange directions. So it almost looks like their arms are broken, but not. And so this one here lights up.
Yep, got an 11, so I kept it together.
Josh was making a guts check. He glows, and then the wings behind him begin to vibrate furiously, and it goes up towards the chandelier, the wooden wagon wheel type chandelier at the top of the saloon. And as it's going up, its backside gets incredibly bright. Aims in a direction towards you and Joshua. And as it gets to the top, it turns, it whips its body around, and it basically points its backside towards you. And it lets out this gout of this orange, red, yellow type of substance that comes right at you and slams into the table right nearby.
It just, oh, disgusting.
Pretty much.
Insert Taco Bell joke here.
What is this? The second saloon where they're having adverse reactions to the food there that we've walked into.
Also, the second dead town that Porter has experienced. So back when Porter's like, "You've seen this before," Joshua could be like, "Yep."
Now Joshua's up to 3.
Ow.
All right. This gout of liquid comes right at you, hits that table, it explodes in this bright burst of heat and light. You're going to take a total of 10 points of damage coming at you. So, all right, let's do you here first, Joshua. How does that... you got 10 points coming at you. What's your toughness?
Yep, which is going to be real easy because I'm playing my adventure card.
Ooh.
Second Wind. Basically removes all damage I've taken in this combat, removes shaken.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're not going to attempt to soak. You're just going to spend that to get rid of it right there.
That hit, and instantly Joshua is in the zone, just barely managed to get out of the goo. It's like, not the new suit and shirt.
All right, I am going to give, because he is a wild card, I am going to give myself 2 chips for John. He is going to spend a white to soak. Ooh! He definitely soaks that. And so Barnes himself, so this, when it hits, it explodes in this flash of heat and light, and it washes over both of you. And yeah, basically, Joshua, you kind of whirl around and let the back of your coat take the brunt of it, and then yeah, like you say, you come around and you're in the zone. It seems in Barnes's case, he stumbled back a little bit, steadied himself on a chair, and he has some wisps of smoke and ash burning off of him, but he kind of shakes himself and appears to be unaffected. And that is that round. All right, let's deal out some more cards. Okay, so here's Porter, Joshua, John, and the Billsy-bugs that you are fighting.
You got an ace for Porter, a 3 for Joshua, a 6 for John, and a jack for the enemy.
All right, so Porter, you get to go first.
What do I want to do? Okay, I'm going to level my gun, making sure to keep the table as cover for me, and take a shot at the one that was spewing all over the place.
Go for it. What's the range on this? I think your short is 12, right? Yes, he is definitely within short range.
No, wait, does he have any cover?
You know what? He will say that he actually went right onto the chandelier and is hanging on, so we'll give him a -1 to your die roll for cover.
There we go.
There we go. That'll be a hit.
So that is a 6.
Excellent. That is just a hit, no raise.
I'll take that. And this is the first time Porter's ever hit with a handgun. So I need to
Wow.
pull up his handgun stats. So I got a 12.
12 points of damage. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So, how do you want to take this one out?
Oh, Porter, the crack shot! So what happens is he doesn't actually hit the firebug.
Okay.
He is aiming for the firebug, but he's still not. He's only fired the gun so often, so the recoil makes him aim a little higher than he was expecting, and he hits the chandelier, and the chandelier falls right on top of it and crushes it in the middle of the floor.
Nice. Nice. All right, yeah, so it comes down and there's this huge just boosh of dirt and ash and this cloud that comes up from that, and you see this thing get just splurched on the floor, and very much like the other bodies that have emitted that red, yellow, orange goo stuff that glows briefly then begins to fade, this spreads out over the floor as well, but stays bright, at least for right now.
And then after the shot, Porter just sort of pulls the gun back and slinks down with his back to the table. He's like, "Oh, that was really satisfying."
Nice. Nice.
Very nice.
All right. They're next. So there's just this loud cacophony of sound and gross squishy noises as this thing dies, and this cloud of dust and ash hangs in the air from the chandelier falling. And you see darting up from behind the bar, again up into the air, two more of these things, and they fly straight up, and they're glowing, so you can see them. You can see the glow shoot out, or even masked a bit through this cloud of dust as they come up, and they're emitting. And again, you hear that noise of the whole moaning, buzzing torch type sound as they come up and they look in your direction. And Porter, you notice an additional thing as those two bodies that were at the table that you flipped over, they begin to move and stand up. One of them is able to come around to where you're at, right? Yep, there's Porter. So he comes up right next to you. The other one, there's a body over here by the couch, which begins to get up and make its way towards you, Joshua. And then you see another one here. He was at the bar, and he closes the distance in there. And then looks like there was a dancer, this little dancer lady who is there. She has gotten up and is making her way towards you and Barnes. Okay, so Porter, this one comes around the table, this person, and his body is moving it's moving in an odd way. It's a little jerky, but it appears to at least have some solid footing. The white eyes are just staring directly at you, and it's emitting this strange groan buzz noise, and it's like right in your face. And it comes up to take a swing at you. Make me a spirit check as it goes to go and make its attack.
Got a 4.
The groan, it chills you a little bit and is very, very disconcerting, but you're just pumped with adrenaline after having shot that chandelier and taken out the other bug. So you steel yourself towards it.
And you've seen this before with the martial arts.
I have.
And you have.
And I've had a shotgun go off by one of these guys before, right next to me. So I kind of expected this might happen.
That's very true. And if is your parry 2? Is that right?
It probably is right. Is that just based off the fighting?
2 plus half your fighting die.
Yeah, it's 2.
Okay.
I don't know how to fight.
All right. So it groan buzzes at you, and it raises its ashen-covered fist and just comes down and smashes you right in the chest. And you got 9 points of damage coming at you.
That's not so good. My toughness is 6.
Toughness is 6, so you are shaken.
All right.
You'll be shaken unless you want to spend a Benny right away to get rid of it.
That is exactly what I'm going to do, is spend a Benny.
You are not shaken. And now it is Barnes' turn. Barnes sees those things. He's going to turn and shoot at one of them.
Now would be good time to shoot, John.
I'm on it.
Ideally at them.
Don't shoot John.
So he got an 11, so he got hit with a raise. Not bad either there, John. So one of the two that flew up, John tracks it because it's making its way towards you, and he just levels off, and you say, now would be a good time to shoot, John, and he says, I've got him. And he lets off a shot, hits the thing square between the eyes. It falters in midair, and then promptly falls and splatters itself on the ground or on the floor, creating more pile of goo, red, yellow, orange goo, and kicking up more ash into the air. And that leaves us with Joshua.
Joshua didn't like the bile whatever that was flaming coming at him, and he sees another one that has the potential to do that, so he's just going to go bang bang at it.
All right.
Pulls both guns, dropping the bottle of water in order to do so.
Okay. 5 is a hit.
So 8 damage with that 5, and the first one would be 3, so a total of 12. No, sorry, 11.
All right, so the first bullet hits it, and you just clip a little bit off its shoulder. It spins slightly, and you come up with the second, let that shot off, pegs it in the gut, and it stumbles a bit in the air, so to speak, and it clutches where you hit it, but it doesn't drop from the sky. But it is hovering there, and it appears to be shaken. And Joshua, make me a knowledge occult.
Ooh.
Fancy.
Fancy.
Ha!
Oh, never mind.
He's not thinking about such things. He's shooting.
He's got other important tasks to take care of.
Doesn't like this flaming butt juice.
No, it's not too much fun. So new round, Porter, Joshua. The previous one that was slain by the chandelier shot, his guts are still glowing. And the bad guys get a joker.
That's not good.
No. But what is good for you guys, though, is that you each get another fate chip.
I'll take that.
Because you got a joker?
Because I got a joker. Oh, that's right. And I get one as well. That's right. Actually, I think the way it's supposed to be, when you draw the joker, you guys get it. When I draw a joker, I get it. But since I've already given you one, then I'll just take one and we'll be balanced out. And life will be good. Technically, Porter would go first, but I think I'm going to have the Beelzebugs go before you. This one here, he's going to attempt to recover from shaken. And he does. Thank you, Mr. Joker. This guy comes up here to engage you, Joshua. These two come over here to engage Mr. Barnes. This one, let's see, which way does he want to go? He's going to come around to you on the other side, Porter. This one here, he swoops down, actually, and comes right up to you, Joshua. He didn't like the fact that you shot at him, so he is going to come up and attempt to bite you.
I give him a wink.
First, make me a vigor check, if you'd be so kind, Joshua.
Skin of my teeth.
Skin of your teeth. All right. He gets up there, and he just swoops in right at you, and his mouth is open, and you can see the teeth and this multicolored spit coming off of them as he comes in, and he places his hands on your shoulders as he's coming in to bite you, and you feel this wave and rush of heat, just a lot of heat, but you keep your wits about you, and he goes to sink his teeth into you.
Extra insulated with my long johns on.
And looks like he gets an ace. So a total of 14, so I'm assuming that beats your parry.
Oh, just a little.
It looks like I'm going to guess I got a raise here. So damage coming at you is 6, 7, 8 because of the Joker, so you have 8 points. What's your toughness?
My toughness is 4, so I'll be shaken in a wound.
Shaken in a wound.
So I will try to soak.
All right. Spend that Benny. You get rid of the wound, but you are still... No, you get rid of the shaken as well because it's your first wound from there.
Huzzah.
All right, so he still gets his hands on your shoulders, and you have this freaky-looking human bug hybrid face come at you, and it opens its jaw unnaturally wide and tries to sink its teeth into your shoulder, but the toughness of your jacket absorbs most of it, and it's kind of caught on there, and it can't quite get the penetration it desires in that, and so it is now angry at that fact. Now you, Porter, you're going to get attacked twice here, and they're going to get a little gang up bonus.
Oh no!
That is a definitely hit from one. All right, that is a hit with a raise, and the second one actually, oh no, it hit you because your parry's 2. You've got 5 points of damage. What is your
My toughness is
6? Wow,
It is
all right.
indeed.
So he comes up and he goes to slam his fist into you, and you dodge out of the way, and he just takes a chunk out of the table that's there, and wood and ash splatter everywhere. Actually, that's the second attack who did that one. Now we'll do the first one since he got a raise.
We had a D6 and a D4. Isn't with a raise? Ooh.
No. There we go. Boy, that's not much better. The guy who got the better hit on you, he comes up and you dodge out of the way of the first one, and the splinters go, and it distracts your attention slightly, and then the other one comes up and just plants a blow right in your midsection, kind of doubling you over, and you are shaken.
Can I spend a penny?
You could spend a penny to get rid of it, or you can wait until your turn and then make your spirit roll to do so. And since you're next, you may as well wait and then try and do it, and then spend a penny to reroll.
Okay. Does that count as an action to get rid of shaken?
No.
Okay.
I just remembered I have a Joker. So it's actually 10 points of damage, so you would be shaken in a wound, which you can now do your soak roll if you want.
Okay. I do want to spend a penny then.
All right. Make the vigor roll to soak it. Yep.
4.
That gets rid of the wound and the shaken as well. So
All right.
he nails you in the gut, and you double over a little bit, but you are not. The wind is not knocked out of you.
Okay.
And that means you're next also.
So, what's going to happen is that as Porter's getting hit in the gut, he's dropping his firearm and instead drawing the shotgun, and he's going to fire right at the a zombie that hit him.
Well, that seems just as good a place as any to end our tale for now. I'm sure our 3 heroes will have everything well in hand. We'll find out in our next issue, tonight. The part of Porter Holt is played by Brad Smith, Joshua Young is played by Brent Rich, and your intrepid Marshal is played by Chris Hussey. This game references the Savage Worlds game system, available from Pinnacle Entertainment Group at peginc.com. It is unofficial media content permitted under the Media Network Content Agreement. This content is not managed, approved, or endorsed by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Certain portions of the materials used are the intellectual property of Pinnacle, and all rights are reserved. Savage Worlds, all related settings and unique characters, locations, logos, and trademarks are copyrights of Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Thanks also to our friends at Fear the Boot. Support their Patreon at patreon.com/feartheboot. Intro and outro music by Beelzebub Jones. Contact information for the cast as well as music links can be found in the notes on our website, youngandholt.com. If you enjoy these issues, please consider dispensing a lovely 5-star review on wherever you do listen from. Please search for Fear the Boot Actual Play. It's kindly appreciated. I'm Ernest Wick for the Tombstone Epitaph. And remember, it's okay to play games with fire, but best be damn sure you know all the rules.
Go be down and watch the world burn.